from r/askabros. My brother's fiancé uninvited me from their wedding. My family has long known about my sexuality. I came out in my teens, and everyone has been fully supportive of me. I couldn't have asked for better people around me. My brother and his fiancée are getting married, and I was one of the first people they invited. I was really happy for them. I had a gift picked out and everything. We were all so excited. Today my brother sent me a text completely out of the blue informing me that as much as he wants me at his wedding, he doesn't think it's a good idea that I come. When I asked why, he told me that his fiancée can't allow a sinner at the reception, her words, and doesn't agree with homosexuality, which absolutely shocked me to hear. She always seemed supportive of me. I honestly never felt an ounce of hatred from her prior to this. Apparently she can't see past my sexuality and has always pretended to be okay with it, to not make things awkward at family functions. I also learned that most of her family is in agreement with this. I knew they were religious, but not like this. The more details I learned, the sicker my stomach felt. I loved her like a sister, and I always thought she cared about me too. Part of me feels like this is a bad dream because it just doesn't feel real. I called my brother to discuss this further, and I just broke down. I had so many questions that I couldn't figure out how to ask them. He tried to comfort me. I got the sense he didn't agree with this at all, but was being forced to do it by his fiancée. I was in such a state of upset that I then called my parents to explain the situation, and I couldn't stop crying. I felt so hurt and betrayed by both my brother and his fiancée. My father said, if I'm not allowed to go, he's pulling out of the wedding entirely, and my mother was in agreement. I feel like I'm breaking up the family, and I hate myself for it. I just can't understand or comprehend this. My brother and I have been so incredibly close for all of our lives. He's been my #1 supporter. We have always been there for each other. I was so excited to be there for his special day. Now I just feel so depressed and embarrassed. I've rarely had trouble accepting myself, but this time it's really hitting me. I never chose my sexuality. I've always been this way. This hurts. I don't know what to do anymore. Update. The post blew up, and so many of you sent your well wishes and some really comforting advice, so I want to thank all of you. This is an amazing community. I felt so alone in that moment, reconsidering my entire life and thinking about who has really been there for me. It was the first time in a very long time that I felt shame about something I couldn't control. I've moved past that and searched for answers and clarity regarding the situation. I felt I was responsible for breaking up the family, but you guys assured me that it was really my brother and his fiancée were breaking up the family. The more I thought about this, the more I realized it was true. My brother did have a say over his special day too. Many of you said that my brother was acting spineless for not defending me and should have had my back from the beginning. After my initial sadness wore off, I completely agreed with this, and it hurt to know that anything else mattered more than us, his blood family. To me, family comes first, and my brother put his fiancée ahead of us. We organized to have a family meeting in person. My parents, my brother, and I. The fiancée was not invited, ironic because it wasn't her place. She made her position in this very clear. She made my brother choose between us. I haven't had any contact with her since I found out about this through my brother. She has shown who she really is. I've seen enough. I never want to speak to her again. We all arrived at the family meeting. The mood was tense and uncomfortable at first. I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. I just hoped we could talk some sense into my brother. I hoped my brother would see what was happening and we could change his mind. My parents started off by reiterating that if, for any reason, I am excluded from the wedding, they will not be attending in support of me. They also scolded my brother for not defending me and said he shouldn't be marrying this girl after seeing her true colors. My brother said he wanted to defend me but felt trapped in the commitment of marriage. He thought his fiancée would come around to accepting me and was trying to change her mind. Apparently, it was even a surprise to him that it came about a few months ago. They had been fighting about it for those months, but he didn't want to involve me in it, and he eventually convinced her to invite me. He said the reason for the uninvite was that in the end, fiancée put her foot down, saying, It's my big day. I don't have to have anyone there that conflicts with my personal beliefs. My family shouldn't have to be uncomfortable at my wedding and threatened to actually call off the wedding herself multiple times. To which I said to my brother, "It's his wedding too, and he should have a say." To which he agreed. My parents described the move as completely out of character, and I agreed. My parents then chimed in, reminding my brother how isolated he was becoming and would continue to be at the hands of this woman. My brother eventually came to the conclusion that he's going to call off both the wedding and his relationship. He doesn't see a future with her. He said he felt controlled by her for a long time on various things, even unrelated to this. He couldn't have an opinion on anything, couldn't make decisions without her approval. She was the mastermind behind anything and everything in their lives. He also felt that if they were to have children in the home, they wouldn't grow up in a loving or accepting environment under his fiancée. He felt this wasn't something he wanted any part in anymore. The fiancé's family was also very instrumental in all of this. We found out they were contributing financially to this wedding and were also very controlling in all aspects. My brother assured me that he loves and cares about me more than anything, and that this will never happen again. He explained how, even though it was also his wedding, he felt powerless between his fiancée and her family, making all of the decisions and the leverage they had in their financial commitment. The religious aspect also played its part, though. As many of you pointed out, if it was really about the concept of sin, that guest list would be empty. It was very much a manipulative, calculated move, with hatred and bigotry written all over it. I was overcome by emotions at this point. I was relieved, but also stunned that this had ever happened. There was a point where I thought I would lose my only brother, that he and his wife-to-be would run off and abandon all of us, his blood family. I sensed some sadness in my brother. He felt he let me down and was extremely remorseful. My brother hugged me and told me he loves me more than anything, and that he's sorry. We just hugged for a couple of minutes, and I was thinking about our childhood and how he really was always there for me. He defended me when I was there and when I wasn't. He did more than I could ever ask for or expect. He absolutely fucked up here. He was spineless. He gave in to the trap instead of fighting for what was right. But I didn't want to hold it against him forever. Everyone makes mistakes. His genuine, expressed remorse made it absolutely clear to me that I wanted to forgive him and hold him to his promise. I want him in my life. I don't want to lose him. I felt that the conversation we had was really good, and we cleared everything up. He's now in the process of calling off the wedding and his relationship. I'm going to be there for him to support him through this. It hasn't been easy for him either. He's lost his 6-year relationship with someone who was, at one point, the love of his life. He's definitely heartbroken, but he was looking out for me first. As for the fiancée, I think she has tremendous hatred in her evil heart. She's a cold bitch. For years, she pretended to be okay with me and support me, but when it really came time, she showed who she really is. She showed her dark, distorted view of gay people. It was very much a targeted attack. We aren't these evil people. We're normal people who deserve to be treated the exact same way as everyone else. Personally, I've been having a really hard time with religion. I hate the concept of hating us and hiding behind it to absolve blatant bigotry. As for me, I'm feeling in a better headspace now. I definitely feel the support and love around me. I constantly remind myself of how lucky I am, especially for my parents. They've been nothing short of the best. I showed them some of your appreciative comments in my previous post, and it really made their day to see your loving words. I want to thank all of you for all of the support, reassurance, and kind messages you've sent my way. It helped me feel like I wasn't alone. It gave me hope. It made sense to me. I'm lucky to have the people I love in my life, and I'm very relieved it had a positive ending. Take care. Thank you all again. Leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to our channel to make sure that you don't miss any upcoming videos. Thank you for watching, Reading Reddit.